My dear students, in the last video we have studied about the bleaching of chlorine. We know that chlorine disproportionate into the when it reacts with water, it turns into -1 and +1 oxidation state, so it forms the hydrochloric acid and hypohalous acid. This hypohalous acid produces the nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen is actually responsible for the bleaching property of chlorine. So when we add this reaction and this reaction, we get Cl2 plus H2O, that gives twice HCl and O, because Cl2 when reacts with H2O produce HCl and HOCl. HOCl produce again HCl and O, which is a nascent oxygen. So when Cl2 reacts with water, we get two molecules of HCl and one nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen is responsible for the bleaching property. So colored substances reacts with the nascent oxygen and produces the colorless substances, and this is the action of chlorine for bleaching. Chlorine bleach with oxidation, and that is why the oxidation of chlorine is a permanent bleaching which remains for a longer time, and chlorine bleaches the vegetable or organic matter in the presence of moisture. So remember, the presence of moisture for the bleaching is very much necessary. Now we are going to study about the various uses of chlorine. So chlorine is very useful. Let us try to see the various uses of chlorine. Chlorine is used for bleaching wood pulp required for the manufacture of paper and rayon. So chlorine is a bleaching agent and it is used for the bleaching of wood and pulp. Chlorine is used for the bleaching of cotton and textile. So even in the cotton and textile industries, for the bleaching of cotton and textile, chlorine is used. Chlorine is used in the extraction of gold and platinum. This is again one important use of chlorine, that for the extraction of gold and platinum, chlorine is used. Chlorine is used in the manufacture of dyes, drugs, and organic compounds such as carbon tetrachloride CCl4, chloroform, that is CHCl3 or trichloromethane, DDT, that is the para-paradise dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, and various refrigerants which are also known as the chlorofluorocarbons or freons. So these are the various substances in which for the preparation of those organic compounds chlorine is used. Chlorine is used in the sterilizing the drinking water. Sterilizing is the process by which the microorganisms are being killed, and chlorine is a compound that kills the microorganisms, and that is why chlorine is used in the sterilizing the drinking water. Chlorine is used in the preparation of poisonous gases such as phosgene, which is COCl2, tear gas, that is CCl3 into NO2, and mustard gas, that is Cl CH2CH2S CH2CH2Cl. So it is the chemical formula of these poisonous compounds are asked sometime into the CBSE exams. The uses of chlorine are also important and we should study and learn them. My dear students, here also after in the textbook there are some questions given which are the in-text questions or solved examples. We have already done, or we have already discussed the answer for those questions in detail. So here we are not going to repeat them, but I would like to request you to go through those in-text question and solved examples so that you can understand and revise the concept whatever we have studied well. Now we are going to study about a new compound that belong to group 17 element, which is known as the hydrogen chloride HCl. It may be gas or it can be acid. So let us study about the new compound hydrogen chloride HCl. Glober prepared this acid in 1648 by heating common salt with concentrated sulfuric acid. It can be easily prepared by the reaction of common salt, sodium chloride with sulfuric acid. Humphrey Davy in 1810 showed that it is a color compound of hydrogen and chlorine. You know, Davy established that chlorine is an element, but Davy also established that HCl, hydrochloric acid, is not an element but it is a compound, and it is compound between the two element hydrogen and chlorine. Now we'll see the method of preparation for hydrochloric acid or hydrochloric acid HCl. In laboratory, HCl is prepared by the reaction of sodium chloride with concentrated sulfuric acid. You can see that sodium chloride, when reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid at 420 Kelvin, it produces sodium hydrogen sulfate and hydrochloric acid. Same sodium hydrogen sulfate when reacts with sodium chloride at 823 Kelvin, and it produces sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 and HCl. So this is how HCl is prepared by the reaction of common salt with sulfuric acid. HCl gas can be dried by passing through the concentrated sulfuric acid. We know concentrated sulfuric acid has a great affinity for water, so when HCl gas is passed through concentrated sulfuric acid, it can be dried. Now we will see the various properties of hydrochloric acid. So HCl is a colorless, pungent smelling gas. HCl is easily liquefied to colorless liquid and the boiling point of that liquid is 189 Kelvin. HCl when freezes, it is a white crystalline solid, and the freezing point of HCl is 159 Kelvin. HCl gas is extremely soluble in water and ionizes as follows. HCl gas when added to water, it produces H3O plus ions and Cl minus ion. You can see the value of dissociation constant Ka for this reaction is 10 to the power 7, which is a very high value. So aqueous solution of HCl gas is called hydrochloric acid. So this aqueous solution, when HCl gas is dissolved in water, whatever the aqueous solution produced, it is known as the hydrochloric acid. Now you can see that uh, the value of the reaction is very high. That is, Ka is almost 10 to the power 7. The value of Ka that we have seen here is almost 10 to the power 7 for the dissolution of HCl gas into water. So high value of dissociation constant of Ka indicates that acid is a very strong. So HCl is a strong acid. HCl reacts with ammonia and gives the white fumes of ammonium chloride. You can see HCl with NH3, it gives NH4Cl. This NH4Cl gives white fumes. Now we are going to study about a very important point, which is known as the Aqua Regia. When 3 parts of concentrated HCl and 1 part of concentrated nitric acid HNO3, HCl is to HNO3 is equal to 3 is to 1 are mixed, Aqua Regia is formed. Aqua Regia is a liquid that is used to dissolve gold and platinum. Remember, my dear students, it is the only liquid that dissolves the gold and platinum. Uh, which are the noble metals. Now here the NO3 minus ion present in HNO3 gives NO, that is nitric oxide, while Au reacts with Cl minus ion produced by HCl to give AuCl4 minus, whereas PT reacts with Cl minus ion from HCl to give PtCl6 minus 2. They are the complex compounds formed by the gold and platinum. You can see here NO3 minus in the acidic medium of HCl gives NO and 2 molecules of water. It requires 4H plus for this reaction. You can even easily understand it by balancing it with the as a redox reaction. Then Au reacts with 4Cl minus to give AuCl4 minus. In this process, this 4Cl minus, so 4 minus charge is balanced by 3 electron. Pt plus 6Cl minus gives PtCl6 minus 2. You can see here the charge is minus 2 this side and minus 6 this side. To balance the charge, we have added 4 electron this side. Now, my dear students, if we add the equation A and B, this is equation A and this is equation B. If we add both this reaction, NO3 minus plus 4H plus 3 electron, that gives NO plus 2H2O, and Au plus 4Cl minus, that gives AuCl4 minus plus 3 electron. We can easily find out the reaction Au plus 4H plus NO3 minus plus 4Cl minus, that gives AuCl4 minus and NO plus 2H2O. This is how Aqua Regia dissolves the gold. Now we will take the reaction number A and reaction number C. This is reaction A, this is reaction C. This reaction A we will multiply with reaction A we will multiply with 4, and reaction C we will multiply with 3. This reaction we will multiply with 4. This reaction will multiply with 3. So when we multiply the reaction A with 4, we get 4NO3 minus plus 16H plus 12 electron. That gives 4NO plus 8H2O. When we multiply the reaction C with 3, we get 3Pt plus 18Cl minus. That gives 3PtCl6 minus 2 plus 12 electron. Ultimately, we get 3Pt plus 16H plus 4NO3 minus plus 18Cl minus. That gives 3PtCl6 minus 2 plus 4NO plus H2O. So this is how we can easily understand the reaction of metal platinum and gold, which are the noble metal, with aqua regia. I hope, my dear students, you are enjoying your studies. Happy learning.